Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 4 through 16. Then I saw that all toil and all skill and work come from a man's envy of his neighbor. This also is vanity and a striving after wind. The fool folds his hands and eats his own flesh. Better is a handful of quietness than 2 hands full of toil and a striving after wind. Again I saw vanity under the sun. One person who has no other, either son or brother, yet there is no end to all his toil. And his eyes are never satisfied with riches, so that he never asks, "For whom am I toiling and depriving myself of pleasure?" This also is vanity and an unhappy business. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up. Again, if 2 lie together, they keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And though a man might prevail against one who is alone, 2 will withstand him. A 3-fold cord is not quickly broken. Better was a poor and wise youth than an old and foolish king who no longer knew how to take advice. For he went from prison to the throne, though in his own kingdom he had been born poor. I saw all the living who move about under the sun, along with that youth who was to stand in the king's place. There was no end of all the people, all of whom he led. Yet those who come later will not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and a striving after wind. In today's passage, we find another of Kohelet's observation of life, this time being about one's relationship to others. We find 2 distinct characteristics in today's passage that the teacher observes. The first characteristic is a person who is selfish in what they do. Whether they are envious of others, is lazy, causes strife, or is prideful, Kohelet observes that these individuals seek their own selfish gains, but it only amounts to chasing after the wind. The other characteristic Kohelet observes is other-centeredness. The teacher observes that it is better for a person to have companions who can help in time of need. Also, in any situation, these people are available to help one another. In this manner, Kohelet observes that other-centered life is something that can help sustain one's journey through life. Although Kohelet has found this wisdom through observation, the other-centered character is a characteristic of love and is something all Christians ought to live by. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 4 through 7 says, "Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things." May we be a people of God who can lift one another up and help to keep others warm during the times of trouble. May our lives show the characteristic of love that Paul describes in the book of 1 Corinthians and be selfless, just as Christ has been for us.